The award is the Chaney, Goodman, Schwerner Award. It was an award initiated by NAACP a couple of years ago to recognize people who had done an outstanding job, an exceptional job of advocacy about the issues that concern the New England area conference the most. And in their advocacy have also been working in conjunction with the New England area conference. We've got two outstanding awardees this evening, and it is not an annual award. It is an award given only when we think that there is true merit and those deserving of it. I have been working closely with both Barbara and with Grace in advocacy issues. They are exceptional advocates advancing the mission that they see as important, independent of NAACP. But it is also, as it turns out, is right down the alley of the stuff that's very important, the issues that are very important to the New England Area Conference. And we've had a tremendous working relationship. I am really pleased with both, have done an outstanding job, and the presenter of the award to Grace, Grace's award deals with for NAACP economic development, and the presenter of her award is the chair of the Economic Development Committee, and he was the first to receive the award.
Oh, very nice. All right, Reggie. Very nice.
So let us move on at this point. John, would you come forward and present the award to Barbara? And again, John is chair of NAACP's Education Committee and is the appropriate one to present the award.
Good evening, family.
Good evening.
And particularly good evening to my MTA family, which I am very proud to be a part of.
All right, all right.
Now, before I give this award out, there's a few things I have to say about Barbara Madeloni and my involvement with MTA. I'm a career educator, originally from Boston, went to the Cape, where very few black people were there when I went there in '73. But most importantly, I went to the University of Mass at Amherst.
All right.
And I am a product of the School of Education and the College of Arts and Sciences. And I am proud to tell you, along with Bruce Rose, who's my other brother in the room right now, I'm proud to tell you that public education works.
Yeah, it does.
People say you may come from bad beginnings, but it's not how you begin, it's how you end. And after 40 years of doing this work, and more so for the NAACP, because Paula Brown can tell you, when I used to be the youth director, me and my wife, we took kids from all around the country who came from Cape Cod who needed cultural sensitivity. Yes. And they were white and they were black.
Yes, sir.
But they were from Cape Cod.
Yes.
And the question to ask is, well, what are you doing down in Cape? You're from Boston. Well, opportunity brings you to strange places, but God takes you the rest of the way. And if you don't believe that, it's time for you to have a wake-up call, because God will take you the rest of the way.
Amen.
Okay? Now, who is Barbara Madeloni and what does she mean to NAACP? When Barbara first got elected, within 3 weeks, I kind of impromptu arranged a meeting between her, myself, and Juan to talk to her about community partnerships with community groups. Now, Mass Teachers Association at that point, because I was a member of the board and an NEA director, National Education Association director, and we were taught that you gotta have community partners or it doesn't work. You could be a teacher, but we know something in education that many of you don't know. Education is a silo-built institution. You're inside the wall or you're outside the wall. If you're inside the wall, you gotta keep your mouth shut or you might get fired. I've been fired 3 times.
Well done.
This lady here is tougher than anybody I ever met because I was at an annual meeting when all these people showed up with red shirts on, and I'm saying, what the hell's going on here? That's not how we do business here. All of a sudden, out of the organizing cadre that they came up with, these people came in, and I'm saying, where are they all from? They're from higher ed. Who do they represent? They represent us now. She got elected. I said to Paul Tono, who I brought here prior to Barbara's coming, who was the past president of MTA, we need to change the paradigm. The paradigm has to be something where we can talk to each other. Now, for those of you sitting down the back who know me, you know I'm not quiet. But I'm going to say this to you. Barbara has done a yeoman job at making outreach from MTA to the state. Something that we have in common is she's from the School of Ed where I came from. Secondly, she's from a family who believed in progress. This is what grassroots people are made out of. I'm not going to get into her whole biography. You got it in your book, and you can read it on your own. You're all grown folks here. But on the same note, there's something that works, and this is what works. When people sit down and have a common conversation about what needs to be done, something can get done. We're on the verge of greatness. November 8th, we will change the world. One way or the other. So without further ado, I introduce you to Barbara Madeloni, President of Mass Teachers Association, and please accept this award. And it reads, the Chaney, Goodman, Schwerner Advocacy Award, presented by the NAACP New England Area Conference to Barbara Madeloni in recognition of her exceptional advocacy and commitment to high quality, free public education for all students, and advocacy for inclusion and diversity among educators and administrators. Presented this day, September 24th, 2016.
Thank you very much. Thank you, John, and thank you, Juan. As I was preparing to, thinking about words to speak tonight, I remember very well the day that John brought Juan into my office, and it was really right after I had won. And it's sort of amazing to think of where we are, the alliances we've built, the friendships that we've forged, and the victory that we are on the edge of attaining.
That's right. That's right.
We will.
So if I can just take a few minutes, and like, just yank me if I go too long. I have 6 things I want to say. I'm going to try to say them as succinctly as possible. They're all connected. But actually, when Juan told me that I was being given this award, I really deeply was like, Chaney, Goodman, and Schwerner? I mean, who am I? You know, I mean, I can't, and then the other thought that I had is, you know, there's their courage, but there's the violence that
Yes.
was done to them. And the violence that was done to them and that continues to be done and is so now present for all of us, for many of you in this room, has been present always, and now because of media is present for all of us. That is the life of Black and brown people in this country. And I really struggled as I was thinking about what to say, to think about the murder of Black men and Black women, and what does it mean that I'm fighting charter schools? Right. You know, what does that mean? Partly it's where we find ourselves, right? Like history brings each of us our histories to our place to do our work. And I am so fortunate to be able to be in this place to do this work. But I also think it's really important to understand the degree to which charter schools represent a resegregation of our society.
That's right.
Represent a devaluing of Black and brown children, a militarization of their consciousness, and in that a pathway to the school to prison pipeline. That this is something that it's a different kind of a violence, but it's a violence.
Yeah, it is.
And it's absolutely necessary that we fight that and stop their expansion right now.
Absolutely.
But that is not enough. Because really, we're in a place right now where we have to, you know, they're coming at us, and so we have to say no. But we really have to start to go back to think about what we're going to do when we win this fight, to make public schools live to the ideals that they represent. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about what a crazy world it is. That public schools represent this ideal that I and we together are defending, and they don't always live to that ideal. And it's so upside down that we're fighting for something so that we have an opportunity to make it the thing that it can be. When we know, especially for Black and brown children, it has not been that. Like, we have to be clear that it hasn't. But that doesn't mean we don't fight for the possibility of what it is.
That's right.
And so I just want to speak to that we have to speak, and that's hard to do. I was thinking about that. I started thinking about Colin Kaepernick and what it means to say, in his way, like, I believe enough in this country that I'm not going to stand for your flag until I start living the equity that is supposed to be in it. So that's the work that we're trying to do right now. And that's how I frame it, as an absolutely critical and important work that we have to do, so that we can then build schools that recognize every single child, that recognize their history, that speak to their experience, that teach them to have power within the context of that experience, so that they become the young men and women who walked out of the Boston schools last spring demanding more funding, the young men and women who are kneeling now, the young men and women who you all were, John was telling me stories, who said, I'm not going to accept the world as it is. I'm going to make this world a better place. That's the ideal of our public schools, is that it's an ideal place to do that work. So that's what I'm fighting for. And the last thing I want to say about that is I really, and I struggle to say this because I so am honored to get this award, but I actually don't believe in awards.
She's like, so.
My husband likes him though. He'll be really upset. But I say that by way of saying that, like, absolutely none of us do this. alone. There's no, there's just not, I mean, it's just not even remotely close to the thing that is the way we make change and the way that we build a movement. It is, we link arms to do this work. We argue with each other. We get annoyed at each other. We figure out how to go back to the table and yeah, a couple of you poking each other about that. You know, we do this together. And so I really accept this for all of us here who stay in this work, those whose shoulders we're standing on, who aren't here, and the young children, the young people who are going to carry this work on, who are carrying it on right now somewhere in Bedford and Boston doing this work. Last. In terms of relationships, I just want to acknowledge that I recognize that Juan understands that as a union leader, taking the stand, that I've been attacked as a union leader. He talks about that a lot. And I just want to say, like, I recognize that in part, there's a piece of this award that is speaking back to the community for me, and I really, I see that and I appreciate it. So thank you very much. Thank you all.